Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. The Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy, and I didn't actually plan on reviewing this franchise because I just didn't have plans to. But it's just one day decided to sit down and watch the first movie. Then I was like, well, I've never seen part two. Then I was like, well, I haven't seen part three in a while. So I figured, it's not a very big franchise, and they're honestly movies that sitting down once again were pretty enjoyable to watch, at least for the most part. And you know, especially this one. Today I'm talking about and beginning my reviews, surprisingly, on the Poltergeist franchise. Now, Poltergeist 1, I think, is one of those horror films that, first of all, is my favorite ghost scary film or scary movie. To me, people say, oh, The Conjuring, oh, Insidious. I love Insidious, but I'm like, to me, this is what does it right. This is what really knows how to do that atmosphere, that great blend of Tobe Hooper's style with Steven Spielberg's way of filmmaking. And of course, this came out in 1982, gets a 7.3 on IMDb, and was directed by Tobe Hooper. Now, the reason why I do that is because supposedly Tobe Hooper made this movie, but in reality, the two filmmakers argued about who really made the movie, because there was rumors that Tobe Hooper did more than Spielberg did. There was rumors that Spielberg made the movie and Tobe Hooper really didn't do anything and he got all the credit. So really the two filmmakers kind of have this kind of bad relationship with each other after this movie. It's kind of unfortunate, but because that's really what we know. This is one of those films where we really don't know who actually directed the film, because most of the cast is very split. Some say Tobe Hooper, some say Steven Spielberg, and that's really an unfortunate thing. Another thing about going into this franchise is, even though I do love these movies, I love this movie. Poltergeist 2 I'll get to in 3 and everything, but this one is my favorite. It's my favorite ghost movie. It's just a masterpiece of a horror film. And if you're wondering why I have it on VHS, it's because I had it on DVD, but when you let people borrow your DVDs and don't give it back or they lose it or whatever, then it's like, That's the thing about being a horror collector. People know you have a lot of movies, so like, can I borrow that movie? I'm like, sure. It's no problem, really, honestly. But luckily, I had a backup for if that did get lost. I have this on VHS, and honestly, on VHS, the movie looks pretty good for what it is. I mean, I think on Blu-ray and stuff like that, it probably will look better, but it kind of has an awesome vintage feel to it on VHS, and kind of a weird font. It has a Fantasia font for the Poltergeist letter, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they just didn't do the original poster, but yeah, this is an old school Poltergeist VHS tape. To tell a quick little story about this, there was a time where I went to a flea market, and this dude had the back of his truck full of old school VHS tapes of horror. All old school horror, Leatherface, Chainsaw 3, Chainsaw 1, Chainsaw 2, Friday the 13th. To be honest, if I had more money back then, I'd been like, you know what, the whole back of the truck is sold because I'm taking it all. But unfortunately, back then, I only had like $20 on me, and I was like, man, I can only get a select few of these. But that's how I got this movie, and that's how I got Day of the Dead on VHS, Dawn of the Dead on VHS, and Halloween 4 on VHS. Is how I got those movies because of that. But like I said before, I kind of got carried away there for a second. Revisiting these movies is kind of tragic for me. It's saddening, and it's almost like you're going to... Because you know what happened during this movie. And, before Poltergeist 3 came out. Because the lead actress, I don't know, she's the lead of the series, Carol Ann, and the movies. I would say she's like the lead of the entire series, because really she's the main character. Heather O'Rourke playing Carol Ann, unfortunately passed away right before Poltergeist 3 came out, and it's very unfortunate. She was, a very just wonderful person, just delivered a great performance in these movies, and was really, I just thought her performance, she really made you, you know, she's just such a likable character, man. You know, she's sweet, she's caring, you know, and they really, she does amazing in these movies. She really does. When you see the scenes with her and her mom, I mean, best thing about this movie has that magic to it. When Heather O'Rourke is saying the dialogue, like when her bird has passed away, the dialogue in that scene is beautiful. Like, it really will, it's heartwarming, and it's just a beautiful scene. The scene where she's like, "Daddy, there's a phone call for you. Tell him to take a message." And Daddy says, "Take a message." That's just a wonderful scene. And there's so many scenes in this movie, not only with Carol Ann, but, you know, with the two leads, Craig T. Nelson, Joe Beth Williams. They do fantastic. You also have Beatrice Straight playing Dr. Lesh, and she's great in this movie. And that's the thing, is it makes side characters very interesting as well. But the movie, especially this first one, has all this stuff in it. And the thing about the Poltergeist movies is it's like The Crow. When you go back and you watch them, you know, they're entertaining, they're very well done, they're very well made, but you feel sad because, you know, Heather O'Rourke passed away before Poltergeist 3 came out. And she was so young, and it was just really out of nowhere, and nobody really knows what happened. I mean, they said that there was something going on with their stomach, some kind of stomach issue or something like that. But it was really, really sad, and I know I've been holding this VHS up for like 5 minutes now, but it was very sad. I mean, you also know that, you know, Joe Beth Williams, of course, in this movie, they used real corpses, not fake skeletons or fake dead bodies, it was real corpses, and she had to go get therapy. And the daughter, Dominic Dunn, she was murdered by her boyfriend. I think I think it was right after the premiere of this movie is when she passed away. She was murdered. And it's just, when you go back and you look at this movie, and there was all kinds, especially this first movie, there was all kinds of, you know, accidents on the set and people getting hurt, weird things going on. You know, it's like The Omen or The Exorcist. It was just a movie that, when you look at it, the production is very eerie. And it's just, it's very, you know, it's a film that I've seen other people talk about that made them cry or on the verge of tears, and I have to say the same thing has happened to me. I mean, during this movie, the dialogue from Carol Ann, I mean, everybody else does fantastic. The whole cast is great. But when she says certain lines, you know, you just feel sad and emotional, and, you know, it really made me to where when I was watching this movie again, I was like, man, this is just such a well-made horror movie. Just without a doubt, the best ghost horror film out there. And I'll even say the best PG horror film. Because how many PG horror films have people ripping their face apart? Like, some pretty good looking special effects in this movie. There's literally a scene where a guy pulls his face apart, and this is a PG movie. So, I mean, it's the best PG horror movie. It's the best ghost movie to me. Just my favorite one. And I think what makes it better than Conjuring and Insidious and all these newer ones, Ouija, however many they got nowadays, those movies don't have heart like this movie does. Those movies don't have life to them. They're very gray, they're very dull, they're very lifeless, they're very boring. And this is how you do it well. This right here is how you do it with characters, making them seem like a real family, like real people in a real situation. Do it with Poltergeist. And I noticed that as the movies go along, the Poltergeist stuff kind of gets carried on, like in Poltergeist 2. Oh, this happens again. And then Poltergeist 3, well, the guy comes back and it's in a skyscraper now. Kind of got more and more done, but in this movie, it was simple. It was the first time it was done, and it was brilliant to me. And like I said, it's got that acting, you know. Joe Beth Williams is a great... really, she and Craig T. Nelson are the two leads, but also Heather O'Rourke is the child, or is one of the kids. is also one of the leads too. Well, I guess you could say supporting. I don't know how you would go with that. Supporting actress, I think. But the two main leads are Craig T. Nelson and JoBeth Williams. They do a great job in this movie, and they know how to really make you buy this relationship between them. You know, it's not cheesy, it's not, generic, it's not typical. It's very unique characters. And I know people are like, well, you haven't gone to the story yet. I mean, the story is very classic. I mean, if you haven't seen Poltergeist, go see Poltergeist. It's a great film. And to get into the story, though, I mean, it takes place in this neighborhood. You have this family. You have Diane, Steve, and their kids. They're just an average family living in this little neighborhood, and as it's going to sound very basic, a poltergeist starts happening. Some weird things are happening in their house. Chairs are stacking by themselves. Carol Ann is talking to the TV with static on it, and they start noticing some weird things and seeing some weird things. And really it's about the special effects and the acting and the direction and the score and the camera work and the lighting. I mean, this is just really a masterpiece of a film. And I'll get into more detail, but this home is basically being overtaken by these ghosts. And these ghosts have grown attached to Carol Ann because they feel like she is the only one that can carry them to the light. So they take Carol Ann to the other side, and the rest of the movie is them trying to figure out how to get Carol Ann back. And I think just the acting, man, I mean, everybody in the movie does fantastic. I mean, Craig T. Nelson, JoBeth Williams, they're not just, typical, couple. No, they're like, they're laughing, they're telling jokes. Craig T. Nelson talked about, how he used to be a swimmer and doing this thing with his gut. Before, after. They're smoking weed, having fun, laughing. And I'll get to Poltergeist 2 stuff with that. But in this movie, it felt natural. It felt like it was real, and they had chemistry. This is how you cast two characters who are in love, have kids. This is how you do it the right way. And I also like Beatrice Straight as Arthur Lesh because she's a character where you would think there's not much to her. I mean, she's just a specialist who brings her crew there, and they show them this poltergeist stuff that's going on, where lamps are floating and stuff like that, and other things are kind of levitating by themselves. But they make it to where they give her character layers. Like, she's admires the family. You're just such good people, and I don't mean to be such a burden. And you feel bad for her. It's like she's really trying to be a good person. You could tell that maybe before she was probably a good person, but she's trying. This family has inspired her to kind of better herself. And that's just a great thing. And she's a side character. I mean, really, she's not in the movie a whole lot, but they make her character very well done. And, the character Robbie, this kid who's afraid of lightning and, thunder and stuff, that was really well done. And of course, Zelda Rubinstein in this movie does fantastic. This is my favorite performance by her in this movie. I mean, she does great in all the movies, but definitely in this movie, I think the Tangina character is very well done. And Zelda Rubinstein passed away in 2010, unfortunately. Rest in peace to her. Just a phenomenal actress, and she did a fantastic job in these Poltergeist movies. And I like certain scenes that are just iconic. The tree coming to life, all practical. This movie, this and The Thing, and a lot of those movies from the 80s, Jaws, too, from the 70s even. Jaws, this, The Thing, The Stuff, The Fly, the Blob remake from the 1980s. These are all movies that I think when people say, CGI is the way to go, watch these movies. Even the CGI in this movie looks great. The CGI in this movie hasn't aged to me. It has not aged one bit. I don't care how animated it is. To me, it looks natural. It looks natural. Now, I don't know if it's just because it's not digital CGI. Maybe that's what helps it. I don't know, but what I do know is that the CGI of this movie looks great. On VHS, too. This is even watched on Blu-ray. Still looks good. To me. And there's not even a lot of CGI in the movie, but there's CGI there. It still looks good. And the practical effects are amazing. You have a tree that has a face on it. And I remember when I seen Poltergeist as a kid, because Poltergeist, since it's PG, I could watch it when I was a kid. Like when I was really young. When I was first getting into horror movies. And that tree scene really scared the shit out of me, where the tree comes to life and, pulls the kid out of the bed and tries to eat the kid, and the dad comes out and helps him. Great scene. The thunder, the lightning, the wind effects, the lighting that they have in the movie, too, where it's very bright lights and stuff like that, and various filters, I thought really brought a great atmosphere to it. And that scene is great. The scene where the guy sees like the piece of meat that's kind of moving by itself across the counter, that was creepy. And he has like this piece of chicken in his mouth, takes it out, and there's maggots on it. Very gross scene and very well done. The scene where he goes into the bathroom and peels his face off, practically, it's just crazy to touch the PG horror film. It's gory as hell. I mean, he rips his face off and the skull is underneath of it. It's crazy. The scene where they walk into the room and everything's kind of floating and, toys are just kind of moving by themselves and then things are just coming right at the camera. It looks great. It's done fantastically. And the scene where they're in the closet is this kind of portal, and it has this bright light in it, and they have to walk in there to find Carol Ann, and that whole great thing. And I also think that the comedy movie is very well done. I mean, Craig T. Nelson, like I said, doing the swimming stuff, doing the little funny voices he does, how him and his friends are watching football, but he has his TV linked to his neighbor's TV, and his neighbor is watching Mr. Rogers, so they're kind of having this remote war. He's like, doing that, and he's like, come on, man, I'm trying to watch some football. It's a great scene. It's really funny. And I also thought, there's a lot of the effects, man. A lot of the effects really hold up, and you have kind of this really ironic thing in this movie where the movie ends with them getting Carol Ann back finally from the other side, and they move to another house, and the new house was built on I think this is what it was. They go to the new house, it's built on top of the cemetery. But the thing is, they only moved the headstones. They didn't move the caskets. So the house has the spirits there again, and they gotta go through it all over again. They get out of the house, then Craig T. Nelson is like talking to the guy from Eternal Living Dead. He's in this movie, James Karen, and he's a great actor too. You moved the graves, but you only moved the headstones. You didn't move the bodies. You only moved the headstones. Why? It's just awesome, very well done scene. And they get out of there. They finally escape the house. You got cars flipping, storms going, rain happening, and just thunder and lightning, effects galore, and it looks fantastic. And the effect of the house kind of being sucked into another dimension. Like, it kind of gets sucked into a portal, and the house is no more. That is wonderful, man. That is just, it looks great. It looks fantastic. And they go to this hotel, it's the end of the movie, and they move a TV to the outside because they don't try some more TVs, and the movie ends. I just thought it really had some great stuff in it. And like I said, the special effects look great. All of the effects, every single one of the effects looks great. I think the camera work and lighting is very well done. It's a very beautiful film to look at. It's very well filmed, very well directed by Tobe Hooper or Spielberg, whoever made the movie. But yeah, it was directed very well, shot very well, has a beautiful soundtrack. I love the main thing of the movie, the theme song of it. Dun, 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 dun. It's just very well done theme song of the movie, and the rest of the score is very well done too. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I just love that theme song, and the rest of the music is great too, and just The effects are very well done. The acting, performances by these people are fantastic. And I just think it has a great, you know, warm. It's a weird thing. It has a very warm feeling to it because of the family and how they're very well done. But it also can be creepy at times. It can be scary, but it also can have a heart to it. And I think that's what really makes the movie very strong, is that it has this life to it, this wonderness to it, this fantasy feel to it that I thought matched the movie very, very well. And I think Poltergeist is just, in my opinion, the best ghost movie ever made. But anyway, that's my review on Poltergeist. I mean, I don't know what else I can touch on. The movie is a classic, absolute masterpiece, and I love it a lot. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Poltergeist. I hope you guys with the review, and I'll see you guys later for my review of Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. Thank you guys so much for watching. The Explorer of Horror is out. See you guys later. Bye.